opportunity. But he didn't tell me that you were playing in the championship game. He said you were going to have a chance, possibly, to win the championship game. So like us, we looked at the championship 3 times and we finally won the championship last year. And really, when you win, it's a special feeling when you win, right? You guys really enjoyed it. But also, with your program, when you're there for the last, how many guys were there for the last 3 years before this one? You had there that long? Two players? 3, 4? Okay. So you had a couple guys that were there continually. To have your program stay at that level every year is amazing. And it takes what it takes with our team is a lot of leadership from inside the dressing room. Certainly your coaching staff has to direct it, and it takes a lot of leadership in the room. How old are you guys age-wise? What's their age range?
7th and 8th.
7th and 8th grade?
12, 13.
Okay. So with our team, our guys, you know how old our guys are?
22.
17.
16 to 20. 16 to 20, that's how old they are. And so our guys are quite young players. And they move away from home, come to Portland, live with the family, and try and become a professional player. And with our team, what we try and do is our older players, we try and make sure that they're good role models for the younger guys. So when you get new players, how many are here are new players on the team? Okay, so when you get your 3 or 4 new players every year like we have, that those guys are integrated into the team and they know how hard you have to work. Okay? They know how you have to behave, how you have to handle some adversity, those types of things. So they help mentor the young kids coming in. So our older players, we have 3 20-year-olds, we have 5 19-year-olds, and then the rest are 18, 17, 16. So they're really young guys. Okay? They were in grades 10 to 12 with their high school guys, and then the other players that are finished grade 12, they take college courses with us. But we try and, as I said, implement the type of program that when you come into our program, there's a certain standard that's right up here. And it's really high. And this year our slogan on the back of their shirts, after 3 times and winning a championship, is to raise the bar. Because sometimes as a player, you don't know how good you can be until you continue to keep pushing yourself, be better and better and better. And even though you won a championship this year, you could go back to back with another championship next year. And you can get better individually, you can get better as a team. So I think if you have that approach in school, if you have that approach in sports, then you're going to be really successful, no matter how far you go in football. A year and a half ago, I went down with Chip Kelly with the Oregon Ducks. And Chip Kelly is actually he's a hockey guy. A friend of mine grew up with him in New Hampshire and knows him really well, so that's how I got the connection. I played high school football, and I had to choose between hockey and football. I decided when I went to university I was going to play hockey. I couldn't play both. But I love football. My dad played semi-pro football, and it was my sport. So I told Chip, I said, I'd like to come down and see what they do with the Oregon Ducks and see if there's anything we can do with our program to enhance our program. It's a different sport, played much differently, but at the same time, maybe there's some things that we can see. So Chip was really good. He brought Kyle Gustafson, one of our coaches, and myself in to his office. He had a big video screen on the wall of his office. We sat there and watched some video clips. But the main thing he talked about was their environment, like how hard they train, how hard they practice, how detailed they are in every part of their game. So when the coaches talk to you about details, about skill details, about execution details, the good teams are really prepared, really detailed, and they execute well. And so we went out on the field with them, and they ran a 2-hour practice, for full 2 hours, and they had no breaks, not one break. They went from station to station every 5 minutes. It was to music, and you hear it now if you see the Philadelphia Eagles practice. They showed a couple of clips on TV the other day, and the music was so loud you couldn't hear. They were doing an interview on the sideline. You couldn't hear the practice. The music was so loud. So he still does music with the pros. The whole practice was to music. Every 5 minutes, the players changed stations. Sometimes it was a large group. Sometimes there was only 3 or 4 guys working on a skill. But they knew where to go, and they bumped from station to station 2 hours. And if they wanted a break, they ran by, grabbed the water, squirted in the mouth, put it down, and went to the next station. Right away to the next station. And you can see the habits and the details, and that's why they were able to play with the pace they play. the speed they play. If you know the Oregon Ducks football, and I'm not picking sides for the Beaver fans or anything like that. I've always been impressed. Our team, we like to play with that speed and that tempo and that pace. So I've always been impressed by that. But that's how they did it, because they practiced that way. And because they practiced that way and had so many details in the speed, the tempo of practice, then when they went on the field for the games, it was just second nature. Just snapping their fingers, they just went that way. And they give teams trouble because of that. So you have to remember that you've set a standard for your program, and your coaches have set a standard which puts you at an elite level. But as an athlete, and as I said, in school or in sports, you can raise the bar. And I would encourage you now to use this year as motivation to say, hey, I'm even going to be better next year. I'm going to be better when I get on the high school team. Okay? I'm going to be better in school. My grades are going to go higher and higher. Even if I get what I think is the best for me, I can still go higher. Look at the best athletes in the world, and they always find a way to get better and better and better. Anybody basketball fans? They gave LeBron a lot of heat a few years ago. He made the switch to Miami, and he just said, hey, I'm going to go win a championship. He didn't win it his first year, they criticized him. They criticized him on paper, they criticized him on TV. He came back the next year and won a championship. What did he do last year? Back to back. Back to back. And if you watch the way he played last year, he was dominant. He was dominant. He wanted the ball, he wanted to make a difference in the game. He said, I'm not happy with one championship, I'm going to win. And I'm going to set a standard way up here and see if other people can beat us. And that's what we try and do with our program. Our guys are young like you guys, and as your coaches know, our guys make mistakes, as young guys do make mistakes. But if you set the right direction and if you have the right group, you have a chance to correct those mistakes and then continually move forward. So I want to wish you good luck as you move forward into next season in your football careers, but also want to emphasize, make sure you have the same standards off the ice and everything, or off the ice, off the field. But any questions for me on what we do with parents or kids or anything like that about our program? We've had a lot of players drafted in the last few years. We've had more NHL draft picks than any team in the world from this team here in Portland. So our players hopefully will go on to be professional players, but some don't. Yep.
How many players do you have?
Do we have to which?
How many players do you have?
Have to which?
How many players
Total,
do you have?
we have 24 players. So we have 20 that play in the game, and 3 or 4 guys will come in and out. We have 2 injuries right now, so you always have to have a couple extra because there's always 1 or 2 injuries.
How many people play at a time?
5, plus your goaltender. So our guys go out on the ice for, we call it 45-second shift. They go 45 seconds, and if they go face off or whistle, they have to change on the fly, and then they go back up. You'll see that tonight. You'll see them out on the ice, and they'll change every 45 seconds to a minute. Because if you're going hard, you know how hard it is to run full out for 45 seconds. That's really, really hard. And it's the same thing for skating. So they have to change. So we have 4 lines, 3 sets of defense, and they change every 45 seconds. We keep the pace really, really, really high. Yep.
So you have young players, how do you track their grades, and do you have grade specifications that they don't need?
Yeah, we do. We had one of our players who was a draft pick of the St. Louis Blues. He's playing professional right now, Ty Ratty, a star player for us. His parents had an agreement with us that if his grades ever, and any test, went below 60% for him, then he would sit out the next game. They had an agreement with me on that. We won the academic team of the year last year, although we won the championship. We also won the academic team of the year. So we monitor the grades of the high school kids and university kids every week. So we monitor the teachers, give red flags on anybody who's slipping a little bit. They want them to go to school. Because I'm a big believer, if you're good at school, you're good at sports, and you'll be good in business, you'll be good in life. You have to have high standards in whatever you're doing. You always want to do your best. And so we're trying to preach that to our young guys. Sometimes you have to hit them over the head a little bit.
Other than Americans and Canadians, you have any other international?
Yeah, we do. We have a player from Sweden. player from Denver. Number 27, Oliver Bjorkstrand, was drafted by Columbus. He'll be an NHL player. He is from Denmark, a country that's only produced probably 5 professional players. Really, really talented player. And a big defenseman, Anton Cederholm, is from Sweden. We're allowed 2 players from outside Canada or the US. That's all we want.
How do you know about drafting them so young?
Yeah, well, we have scouts in different towns through Canada and the U.S., people that are working and they watch young kids play and they identify them for us. And they say there's a good kid here in Spokane or Los Angeles. You better have your guy look at him. So, I would think for a lot of you guys at your age, you're going to start to be scouted by high school coaches and people are going to start to watch players. And really that's just part of the game. We have players all over, our scouts all over to watch our players, and then each year we draft about 10 players. And about 3 or 4 will make our team. 15. We drafted 15. So that's how young our guys are when we draft. And they hope to make our team in 16 or 17. If they don't, then they maybe play at a level below us. It's sort of a feeder system.
Your players live close families, right up here in the city. So how do you ensure that they're being good citizens in the community?
We're fairly fortunate. We have a billet coordinators where our players all live with families in the community here. We have curfew every night. We have them basically from 8:30 in the morning till 5 here with us. They're going to school, and then they're training off ice, and then they're training on ice, and then they go home for dinner. And last year we played just over 100 games the year before, 98. We play a lot of games. We have a tough schedule. There's not a lot of free time for our guys. But they have to be in every night, in bed, 11 o'clock, shut her down, and get ready for the next day. And our billets are good at keeping a handle, keeping a thumb on it, and we also do as coaches. But again, I want to wish you good luck in your careers. Enjoy the game. It'll be a good game tonight. We don't get to see Regina very often. They're a very good hockey team as well. So hopefully we play at a high standard tonight. Thanks, you guys.